Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're well. If you're new here, my name is Jessica Abella. I am a tax and accounting professional based in Washington State. And today we are going to talk about these signs that have cropped up everywhere in my neighborhood. Perhaps they're also in yours. They say vote yes, pay less. I've been dying to know what on earth that means. And I discovered that there are two different initiatives on Washington State's ballots that are coming your way soon that I know our clients are going to have strong feelings about, and that as a tax professional I have some insight to share. My goal here is to share some background on these two programs, how they may be impacting you, how the initiatives are proposing to change them, and as a professional, I see my role as one to inform and to educate, not to persuade. I'm not going to be trying to tell you which way to vote on these initiatives. I welcome comments and conversation in the comments section down below. Please keep it respectful. I know that things can get heated whenever we're talking about things like this. So the first one we're going to talk about is I-2124. It's the one that these signs are actually about, and it relates to the Washington Cares program. So the purpose of Washington Cares is to provide a lifetime benefit of $36,500 per person. It's indexed for inflation, so to go up over time. And it provides that for each person that paid into the program. There are some requirements, of course. But these funds are to pay for long-term care services, nursing services, that sort of thing, including to pay a family member to help care for you in your home, which is kind of unique. That amount, that $36,000, really doesn't go very far, but it could help relieve financial pressure on families and on the Medicaid program. So if you are an employee, you started seeing Washington Cares premiums coming out of your paychecks in July of 2023. So this is a fairly new program. You've been paying in at 0.58% of your wages, so roughly 0.5%. Currently, virtually all employees in the state of Washington are required to pay into this program. There was a brief period where people could opt out if they purchased private long-term care insurance. Federal and tribal employees are exempt, and there are some other really limited exemptions. Self-employed people have had the option to opt into the program, but they're not required to pay in unless they are taxed as an S corporation or a C corporation and they're an employee of their company. I'll link the CARES website information down below if you are curious about the other exemptions and how that applies or how the funds are supposed to be used, anything like that. That'll be there. So back to I-2124, it's proposing to change this mandatory contribution program into one that would give employees the opportunity to elect coverage or to opt out. As it is written, premiums would stop for employees that opt out effective the first day of the following quarter is the way that it's put. So really, if it goes into effect here after the election, January 1st, those premiums could stop if you opted out in theory. I'm not sure if they'd be able to do that fast. There's no retroactive impact. You can't opt out retroactively. You can't get a refund of the premiums that you have paid in. The impact statement prepared by the state states that if rates of non-participation are high enough that the fund could be insolvent as early as 2027, almost immediately after the program starts paying out benefits. The signs say vote yes to pay less, and at least per paycheck that would be true. This is your opportunity, though, to think carefully about how you feel about the program, the benefits to the community, your own preparedness for your own needs in the future. Long-term care needs aren't always old age needs. They can come up because of accidents and strokes and cancer and other disabilities. They all strike people of all ages. So if you don't have long-term care coverage in place, you might want to talk to your insurance agent about that. Those services, those long-term care, long-term nursing services are not covered by your health insurance or by Medicare. So to keep those things in mind. So I said there were two initiatives. The other one is I-2109. This one could use the same slogan, but that would be misleading. So I-2109 proposes to repeal Washington State's capital gains tax. So we don't have an income tax here in Washington State, but in 2021, the legislature passed a bill to create a capital gains tax. There have been many challenges to the constitutionality of this law, but the challenges have failed and it has stood. So to be clear though, this tax does not impact the average Washington State resident. This tax is only assessed on capital gains over $250,000 in 1 year. That tax is 7% of the amount over that $250,000 though. And to back up, capital gains are selling things like stock, cryptocurrency, and collectibles that you've held over a year. So in my practice, where we work with a number of individual taxpayers over the course of a year, here are some situations where we have assessed if this tax would apply. So the first one, a tech worker with substantial stock vesting that they sold the same year. Because the stock was all short-term, it was all sold within the calendar year, it wasn't held long-term, it did not trigger the tax. A couple that sold their home with $1 million profit, real estate is exempt, so that couple didn't have to worry about the Washington State tax. A business owner who sold the business that they owned because the business was family owned and didn't have revenue of more than $10 million in a year, this tax didn't apply to them either. So those have been the biggest and most common situations that we've run into that we thought maybe the tax would apply, but in all three of those it did not. The only situation that I've had come through my practice where the tax actually did apply was when a substantial amount of company stock that had vested and remained unsold, so they'd received the stock from their employer and they held on to it for more than a year, was involuntarily cashed out all at once. So the company sold and cashed out all of their stock all at one time. It was a really highly unusual thing. In most cases, taxpayers have the opportunity to plan around this and sell less than that, or at least make that decision on their own. One thing to note, these funds are used for education. So with all of this information that I have thrown at you in a short period of time, it is election season. It's an important one. Be sure to vote. Professionally, my only hope is that there will be a mix of politicians in office across the state and federal government that will be able to act on the expiring federal tax cuts and be able to act on some other initiatives that are important sooner than later, one way or the other, so that I have some certainty to pass along to you and to my clients. I posted a video a few weeks ago about the impact of the 2026 tax cut expiration. I will link that above and also below. Again, your comments are welcome as long as they're respectful. Like this video if you found it helpful. Feel free to subscribe. I strive to post answers to frequently asked tax and business questions, along with content like this, shedding light on new developments impacting individuals and small business owners. Let me know if you have questions, suggestions for other videos, and I will see you next time.